In my video Intuition as it relates to knowledge, I presented the JTB, Justified True Belief, understanding of knowledge, and explained why I don't adhere to exactly that definition. My definition of knowledge is sufficiently justified belief. I throw away the true part of the JTB. The reason for this is that I don't believe in sure knowledge. With the true part in the definition, one could never know for sure whether something you believe constitutes knowledge or if it's just you believing that it's knowledge. This becomes clearer when considering the Gettier problem. The thing is, I have never considered the Gettier problem a problem. To explore this, I will use some clips from Up and Atom's YouTube channel. How do I know how do you know that you know what you know? This is Jade first explaining the justified true belief, JTB, as it was conveyed by Plato.
To think about knowledge is Plato, who lived in ancient Greece. In his dialogue, Theaetetus, Plato explores a definition of knowledge that seems to capture what we usually mean when we say that we know something. One way this definition comes out is true belief with an account or rational explanation. Some version of that definition has survived through the centuries to today, and is usually worded as justified true belief.
And now in the explanation comes the contradiction.
Let's step back and think about this three-part definition. Knowledge is a belief. That is something happening in your mind.
Remember that it is something happening in your mind that is about something happening in external reality. So you have to use your perceptual system in order to form an opinion about something going on in external reality.
You have a view or opinion about something. That belief is true.
So here's my problem. How do you know that that is true with all the mistakes and hiccups that can happen in the perceptual system?
For a belief to count as knowledge, it must reflect accurately what's happening in the world. If I believe that the moon is made of cheese, that belief does not count as knowledge.
So how do you know the difference between something you believe that constitutes knowledge and something that you believe that doesn't constitute knowledge?
The belief must be justified. Let's explore this definition with an example. If I say that I know a sheep is in the field, there must be three things going on for me to have knowledge. First, I must believe that a sheep is in the field. Second, a sheep must actually be in the field. And finally, I must have formed my belief by looking outside and seeing a sheep, or hearing a sheep, or something like that.
So, in my mind, first, you're looking outside and you see something that looks like a sheep. Based on experience, you form an opinion that this must be a sheep. And depending on the quality of the justification, which is you seeing a sheep in this case, or hearing a sheep, you decide whether this is constitute knowledge that you know there is a sheep in the field or not. The best you can get to is that you believe there is a sheep in the field because of the justification. The true part doesn't make sense at all other than to distinguish it from fantasy or guesswork. But it seems that some like to sneak in the possibility that you can know truth. The definition comes from Plato, and Plato believed that intuitions comes from the idea realm and that it's therefore truer than observation. Jade goes on to explain the difference between guesses and belief, like I mentioned. Now let's have a look at the Gettier problem.
Then about 60 years ago, an American philosopher named Edmund Gettier found some cracks in the definition. Now there was trouble. Gettier showed that a belief can be both true and justified and still not count as knowledge. What if when you looked outside, you were actually seeing a woolly dog that just looked a lot like a sheep? And then what if, unbeknownst to you?
So then you're mistaken in your observation, right? That's fair. This should not tell us anything else, but maybe we should put the bar for what we think of as knowledge a bit higher.
A sheep was indeed in the field, but out of sight in some bushes. It sounds contrived, but this case of the sheep and the woolly dog shows how the traditional definition of knowledge is not airtight. We seem to...
So, no knowledge is airtight. This is due to errors that can occur in the perceptual system, or memorial errors, or you make wrong decisions about what you see. And finally, you could be a brain in a vat. If you recognize that knowledge always is a subcategory of belief, no matter how much justification you add, it's still just a belief. Once you recognize this, the Gettier problem is just a fun thought experiment. So basically, the Gettier problem is that you see something that you believe is something, but you're mistaken, but it turns out that there is a sheep in the field even that you can't see. Remember, this is not me slamming Jade from Up and Atom. I both love her channel and recommend it. A link to her channel will be in the description. She is actually giving an accurate account for how philosophers plunder about this problem. No matter how much you twist and turn it, belief is still a belief. You must see this as a sliding scale depending on the quality of the justification. At some point, hopefully consistent within your worldview, you start calling it knowledge. So knowledge is a type of belief. This is also included in the justified true belief definition, but the true is somehow sneaked in there for reasons. If you believe in sure knowledge, on the other hand, then all knowledge has a Gettier problem, due to all the bugs in the perceptual system and the brain in a vat. There are, by the way, two kinds of truths that evades this problem. These are a priori truths, like ego cogito ergo sum, and definitional truths, but definitional truths are private. You define it, so it is true. My dog is named Bella. I gave her that name. Well, actually, my wife decided it. But that was a part of it. A priori truths and definitional truths are not even in the category of beliefs. That's it for now, folks. See you around.